This is Denise here, and I want to do a quick little tutorial today on a really simple basic project for mixed media, and that is laying papers down. Laying your papers down so they're smooth, so they don't buckle, so they don't ripple and bubble. And I've taught a lot of mixed media classes, and this is the thing that I always kind of drill into my students, and even still, I still find buckles and bubbles. So it's all a matter of taking your time, being patient, knowing that you got to get your papers laid down right, or it's going to affect the rest of your painting. So I just want to give a quick lesson in how I do that. So I'm working right here on a cradle board. It's a cradle board that I found that had been painted over. I think it actually had drip painting on it, so I sanded it down, and I started adding papers. I don't mind the colors being back here because I'll use them somehow. But for now, follow me over to my table. And here I am. I have, of course, I have most all my papers colorized. This is a tray of black and white papers. And it's a little bit of everything. I've got deli papers in here. I got scrapbooking papers. I have napkins in here. A little bit of everything. So let me start with some cardboard, corrugated cardboard. The supplies that I use the fluid matte medium and a fluid glazing medium. And this has a shine to it. The matte does not have a shine to it. The glossier the medium, the less cloudy it's going to be, that your medium is going to be, because the matte mediums tend to get just slightly cloudy if you put on too many layers. But I use either one, so it doesn't matter which one you use. I use those for my thinner papers, for my deli sheets, for my dictionary pages. That's what I use, is the fluid medium. Then I have the matte gel medium, and this can be matte, glossy, doesn't matter. It's a little bit thicker, and this is better for, let's find a paper in here this would work good with. Like this is a piece of a sheet music, but it has paint on it, so it's a little bit heavier. This is definitely heavy. This is a piece of scrapbooking paper, but it's a pretty heavy stock, so that's not going to lay down really well with the fluid mediums, but it'll work great with the gel. And then I use heavy gel medium, and again, any of these can be used in flat or in gloss. And this I would use for things like corrugated cardboard, because that really is going to take something to hold it down. So let me see if I can scoot this out of the way. My most important tools that I like to use, let me scoop that in there, are my color shaper. And it is a silicone rubber. You can use this for paint. You can use it for mediums. You can use it for mark making. It's a great little tool, and it comes in many different sizes. I have a larger one somewhere in this studio. I haven't been able to put my hands on it, but it's in here somewhere. But my number one tool is a bowl scraper. I love the bowl scraper. This is it's a kitchen item, but you can get this on Amazon for like under $10. I think it's like $6 something. It has metal in the inside, and it's silicone, and it's got a beveled edge, and it really works well to lay papers down. So I've always got brushes that I use just for my mediums, and let's see if I can have enough room to get this guy on here. This may have been too big of a board for me to plan to work on, but I'm going to grab my brushes. I found these scraps of paper in my stash, And I don't know why they just stuck out at me, but I'm going to go ahead and use these. And this is out of a magazine. So the thing about magazine pages, things about papers that have a shine to them, they tend to want to slip and slide once you've got your medium on there. And you've got it glued down. You really have to pay attention to papers. Once you've laid them down, don't just ignore them and go lay another piece. While you're laying the other piece, come back and pay attention to the one you just did, because that very likely is going to be buckling while you're not paying attention. I am actually, let me see, I'm going to use the liquid fluid medium on this. Now, the thing with the fluid medium is it has more water in it. So this is probably more likely to bubble. And I smooth that out, and then I take my bowl scraper, oops, and I really lay it down. And the great thing about that is you also get all that extra medium pulled off. Now I'm going to just come over here, and I'm going to add this over here. Now I'm going to keep my eye on this guy, because I don't completely trust that he's not going to bubble. So he's already started to bubble. So I want to go and work those bubbles out. Sometimes you get lucky and you can pick it up. And you can go back and make sure it's laid down. Other times you can't do that. Sometimes it will just, the paper's already set, it's wet, so it will tear. So I'm just going to work that a little bit as it's setting up. And hopefully that's going to do it. Got a little bump in here. Let me get rid of that. I have really no plan for this. Other than to show you laying down papers. But I know whatever I put down, it's going to work somehow, because if it doesn't, I'll just cover it. So I can really work this with this rubber, with this silicone scraper, and it's not going to damage. It's not damaging this paper. There's a little, sometimes you can get a brush under there. Now this guy is starting to bubble a little bit. Let's see if I can pull him up again. Let me put one more piece. Maybe I can get that smoothed out before it even has a chance. Get that out of there. This one's laying down really nice. This one's laying down really nice. This one's starting to bubble, so maybe it's pulling it up that second time. That is a charm. But the more important thing is pay attention. You may have to work them a little bit more than normal, than you would think you would. But there you go. Those three are laying down as far as I can tell. I'm going to turn this. And let's see what we can put on. I've got, now this is deli paper, and deli paper is sandwich paper, you know, that they use in a deli to wrap your sandwiches up. This was just a black striped one that I somewhere along the line did a stencil pattern on. This is really easy. The deli sheets are really easy to lay down. You almost don't have to do anything more than run a brush on them. But I still like to go over, make sure it's smoothed out. And sometimes you will get little wrinkles in these. And I kind of like that. I don't mind wrinkles that are like creases, as long as they don't have air under them. If they have air under them, they're not going to stand up very good to the long haul. Okay, that one laid down really nicely. Now let me go back and check these. These guys are nice and smooth. Let's see what else we have. Here's another piece of deli paper. Love a checkerboard. I got a lot of medium on this, on my scraper, which is really great that I can now go and use that. So I'm not wasting any. Like that. Let me put another piece of this. How about if I put a piece down here? Like I said, I'm just randomly laying these down because it's just paper. I could cover this whole board with just paper. I think I'm going to bring another piece up on this end. The nice thing about this is, you know, once you lay it down, the color will show through a little bit. I'm going to wipe everything off. And then I think I'm going to move this up on my easel so we can see it a little bit better. Okay, so now we're back up here on the canvas. Let me see if I can pull this up a little bit. A little bit closer. It's easier for me. I like to work up on my easel. So I have some more papers here. I have a really great wallpaper. Not really sure what this is. Oh, it's stocks. It's stocks. That's what it is. So for this paper, it's pretty heavy. I'm going to use my gel medium on this one. The matte gel medium. And it's definitely thicker. And let's see. I feel like it's much better if you tear your papers rather than cut them. It gives a better edge rather than unless you're looking for a really clean cut edge. I like to tear mine, smooth it down. Oops, that's upside down. Not that it matters whether it's right side up or upside down. Now I'm going back and looking at these guys. These have no ripples, no bubbles, no buckling. And then you're also putting a nice protective coat over top of the papers when you're using your mediums. That one was the wallpaper. I've got some fabric here. This is really pretty fabric. I think this was, for those of you who do quilting, this was just a piece of a fat quarter. And fat quarters are just like, I don't know, they're like 4x4, 5x5, and it's just a piece of fabric that you would use, that's pre-cut for you, that you would use in a quilt. Now that lays down really nice. That's more than likely not going to buckle. Here's an old tax ledger. And really what I'm doing here is I kind of want to, the tax ledger will make sense with the stock. But I'm just really wanting to cover a lot of these colors up because these are pretty bright colors for me. But it's a really great cradle board to work on. So I don't want to lose that ability. And all of these, because of this and my determination, all these papers are laying down really nice. Now I have a piece of Braille, if you can see that. This was actually part of a Braille Rolling Stone magazine. Let's put this down here. I could use a little bit of white down here. Well, I kind of like those dots though, so I don't want to lose those. And this is a heavier paper, so I'm using the gel medium instead of the fluid. Make sure everything's laying down. This is just all laying down so wonderfully. I'm very happy. Oh, there's something under there I don't want to cover up. This guy there. I mean, this could end up being a floral. It could end up being a teacup. It could end up being a house. It could end up, I can make this turn into just about anything I want. Here's some dictionary paper with these great, that I painted just circles on. So that, where do I want to put that? I think I want to put that right there. No. For some reason, I don't want to cover those little circles up. Maybe I'll put it up here. I'm scooping all the medium that I've scraped off with my scraper, getting that on my brush. Oh, you know, maybe I want to put this. I do like to put my straight edges along the edge of the painting. Now this guy might buckle a little bit. So maybe I will force the air out of it right away. And I think I might want another one of those. There we go. Those little circles may end up staying in somehow. Whoa, I got a big bubble there. So since there's so much of this on, I can just kind of lay that on and trowel it right out. There we go. And I have 2 more of those. I mean, they're probably overkill on this guy, but who knows? Maybe not. Maybe it'll be kind of fun. So I'm willing to give it a whirl. And if I don't like it, I can paint over them or lay more paper over them. Because this is kind of like my underpainting. This is just my underpainting. Okay, so I'm not going to bore you with getting every piece of paper laid down here, but I do want to get to heavier things and thinner things. So I'm sure you've seen this before, and I have done, I think I have a video on laying down napkins. So also a really good way to tear napkins is to just bring a little line of water, and it'll just pull apart, which is perfect for what I want. And then on that little torn edge, you want to be able to rip that top layer. This is a 3-ply napkin, you want to rip that top layer off so that you have just one ply. There's just one ply. Now this is very delicate, so you can use, I'm going to use gel medium instead of the fluid because I've got it on my brush. But this is very delicate, so once you get your, let's get our medium on. And you just lay it and just kind of smooth it out. You don't want to work it too much, because if you do work it, you're going to end up tearing it. And by putting that medium over top of it, you're creating a nice little barrier that's going to protect that. And that, by the way, is my favorite napkin. If you don't already know that about me, that is my favorite napkin. And here's another little chunk. I'll take the reverse side of it, the little stripe. And maybe that will work right here. Now, I have a funny feeling that I have 2 plies on there instead of 1. You can see how transparent that one is, and this one is not as transparent. So I think I only tore off 1 ply of the 3-ply napkin. But I've got enough medium on there, and it will soak on through that will still hold on just fine. It's not that important. And then we've got our corrugated cardboard. Gotta have that. That can go right there. Now that I want to use the heavy gel for. And this is the heavy matte gel medium. And it is really much heavier. Okay, so I'm going to cover up that orange, most of that orange, with this piece of cardboard. And I also want to get a layer on top of that. This you have to use a little bit more because, as you can imagine, the cardboard kind of wants to do its own thing. And you really have to work with it. And then I'm putting just the regular gel medium over the top of it. So I've got the heavy gel to hold it down, and I'm putting the regular gel over top of it just to protect the cardboard. I might decide to paint over this, or I might not, but I want to have something that protects that cardboard. Even if I leave it bare and don't do anything with it, I want it to be protected, and I want it to last. So if I've got that there, I think I might want to just tear it and maybe put a chunk right here. Make sure it's laying down. I'm kind of tucking it over in the edges, laying those down, taking the regular gel medium and putting it over top of it. And there you go. So that is what I wanted to show you for laying papers down. Now, I don't know if I can show you this, if you'll be able to see, but none of those papers are rippled. They're all as smooth as can be. It didn't take me that much time to get them all on there. And I'm not sure what this is going to end up being, but look how fun it is. I could go in and do negative painting and come up with a floral. These could be, you know, flowers. It could be anything. I really don't know. And I have a lot of canvases that are like this, that are just starts, that I'll lay paper on and come back to them later. It's kind of fun to try to make something out of them. But mainly, I just wanted to show you, oh look, I can smush that right down. Now that the cardboard is a little damp, it's a little bit more pliable. So I can get those edges to lay right down in there. I like that. Just means it's going to be more durable. There we go. I'll quit fussing with it now. But mainly, I just want you to see the basics of laying papers down, laying things on your surface, what supplies to use. It can be pretty simple. And there you go. So next time you take a class, next time you start a mixed media painting, now you know how to lay your papers down. So that's good. Until next time, I'll see you then.